FedEx, if you missed it this morning, did say some holiday packages could be delayed, interruptions at the Memphis and Indy hub due to severe winter weather. But also, Jim, reports of DoorDash, some deliveries getting interrupted. Obviously, the airlines, 4,000 flights canceled.
Again, these are suboptimal, and the airlines had just been trying to make a comeback, and they will be more problematic. That whole elite group of the DoorDashes and the Airbnbs and the Ubers, Lyft, they're all under tremendous pressure. They're also part of the mockery of the sham of the retail investors have. And I believe in Airbnb, but the prices are coming back to where we thought they'd be before the pandemic, before things got really exciting.
Right.
And I think it's very hard for the individual investor to adjust to the losses. I think they'll change behavior because of the losses. I think the Powell should recognize that he's winning in one area, which is the declines in the stock market.
So you wouldn't be going into the new year with the fresh long on Airbnb?
I think Airbnb. When I talked to Brian Chesky was on my show, the CEO of Airbnb, and he said nothing about how the high end was not traveling, and somehow his interview was interpreted as saying that. I went back to Brian, and he said, that's just not true. It's just not a fair analysis. So I do believe in Airbnb. I actually would own the stock of Airbnb. I do not own it for my trust, but I think it's a good company. Mm-hmm. I think Brian's done a lot of good things.
We mentioned, obviously, with Google and DirecTV, or the Sunday Ticket, implications on gaming and time spent on social media. Microsoft responding, giving a rebuttal to that FTC lawsuit about Activision.
Well, good luck. I was reading the FTC. I was reading a Harvard Law Review piece that Lena Khan wrote, and it just doesn't want deals. And I've read, anyone who's read if you've read the report by the judge on the Simon Schuster Random House, you'd realize that they are finding reasons to block deals. And no, people who have not written books yet might find that they will not, when they go with their agent, get as good a deal as before. Well, people who might write for gaming for Microsoft will not be able to get as good a deal because won't be able to play. What the judges are saying and the agents are saying is you can't play off big companies to get better right. People have to read the reports. They're very boring. They repeat themselves over and over again. But the essence of all this is antitrust by Jonathan Kanter and Justice Department and by FTC is we are making it so that as long as we have companies competing against each other, we will have more creativity in this country. That's why I think that the L3 Harris Airjet, I mean, they should read these. Well, I'm sure they've read the reports, but their lawyers, if their lawyers are advising them that these deals can go through without being sued, they're being ill-advised because both agencies, FTC and Justice, and the courts so far say all these things make it so there's less creativity, less people discovering things, less armaments in this case, I think it'll be.
Yep.
Speaking of armaments, did you know the AeroVironment makes the best drones? And it's a little off. David would say, Jim, where are you going here?
Yeah.
But they've got a fraction of the orders they could have. When you read that there's so much going to Ukraine, a fraction of the switchblades that are very lethal toward the Russians are being sent there. They're not being bought. AeroVironment's numbers aren't that good because they figured that the U.S. government was going to buy a lot of this product. They're buying a quarter of what they could buy.